Hey guys, it's Ted here. Just wanted to go over some of my thoughts on the Tesla Q3 earnings and conference call that we just had. There's a lot of things going around about Tesla demand concerns, and overall, it's affecting sentiment. Let's remove the Twitter bit, but um, here's why you really shouldn't be concerned about Tesla demand. And I feel like, I mean, it's 2022, but I feel like it's 2012 all over again because we've heard this. When I say we, Tesla investors, EV enthusiasts, we've heard this many times over that there's not enough demand for the cars. So let me just go over some stats. In 2021, global auto sales, new auto sales, was about 66 million cars, maybe like closer to 67, of which the US was about 15 million. And of all of those, EVs were 8 million and 6.6 million EVs in the US. Tesla's aspiration in by 2030 is really to get to about 20 million cars produced annually. So, in the grand scheme of things, demand is not really a problem, assuming that you are on board with the idea that either a Tesla is a compelling vehicle and electrification is going to happen. And we know globally that it is. It just has to. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. But more importantly, the global fleet of vehicles as of right now, or end of 2021, is about 1.5 billion cars, 1.5 billion vehicles. So that's quite a big number. And Tesla's aspiration is to claim at least like 1% of that. Now, I had a podcast called Tesla Side Chats, and basically, my first episode was about demand. People are there for some reason there is this concern that Tesla can't sell cars, and it's been proven time and time again that this is not the case. And at the end of the day, um, Teslas and EVs in general, the Rivians, the Hyundai Ionics, the Lucid Air, all that, butts in seats sells cars. And once you drive an electric vehicle, it's really hard to not like it. And there's actually a pretty good channel, Tesla Barbarian, that I watch that, it fascinates me that so many people either are almost afraid to interact with the Tesla, not even just an EV, just in the world of Tesla, they, for various reasons. They've heard things from friends or they've heard things in the media and it turns things away, but then when they drive it, it becomes something else. And there was a metric when the Model S was first released in 2012 where I think it was something like for every Model S delivered, another 5 would get sold, just because owners and EV evangelists were basically sharing how awesome these vehicles were. But a little bit of history, this Tesla Roadster, Tesla made 2,450 of these, and this couldn't come to market, right? This couldn't come to market. It did come to market. Then the next game change, the mid-price car, luxury car, Model S, this thing came out. Again, it was a question of you can't sell enough of these. I mean, you can't sell them. There's not enough demand for a high-end luxury sedan. Then the Model X came out. Oh, you can't sell these. That's too high price. It's too crazy. Those doors are wild. It doesn't make sense. And then the Model 3, which was basically the goal car for Tesla at the time, you can't make enough of them. So the script kind of flipped from you can't sell them to you can't make enough of them. And now we're going back to you can't sell them. And then the Model Y, you can't make this profitable. You can't sell enough of these. And now we're it's like history is starting to repeat itself. And I'm only going to cover Tesla Auto on this episode, on this live stream, but basically it's just baffling to me, especially if you think about how small Tesla is in the grand scheme of the entire auto market. And it's very hard to people for people to understand and grasp this, because there's a tendency to compartmentalize Tesla. And what I mean by that is, when you think about a Model 3, um, the first thing that really comes to mind is luxury car. You think about Tesla, it's a luxury car. But here's the fascinating part, and what I think is really magical and special about Tesla. When we think about luxury, the luxury can be viewed in a couple of ways. It can be scarcity, it could be the technology aspect. What is that? I kind of hate that term, but it's really about what makes this manufacturer special. And it's the technology. It's the way that the vehicle drives, and the way it makes you feel when you get into it. It's true for an EV, but there's just a little bit of extra special sauce with Tesla in terms of the refinement of software and all that. But the crazy part about this is the Model 3, if you were to sit in one and drive one, it has more room than some of the mid-size SUVs in the segment. And I say that's fascinating because this changes the addressable market for this particular model. And then you jump into a Model Y, and this also changes the addressable market, because now you have people who were looking at things like a BMW X5, a Porsche Cayenne, a Porsche Macan, a Mercedes GLE. So these are like the larger end of the mid-size SUVs, plus the smaller end of the mid-size SUVs, and even some of the like slightly larger SUVs that are looking at the Model Y. And the beauty of that is Tesla has kind of like mastered the design and packaging of things, where they can essentially be inserted into multiple classes because of the interior volume, because of the packaging, because of the technology. You have the performance, it's there, the range, it's there, the storage, it's there. So when we're talking about demand, it's not so much is the demand going to be there. It is there. It's just a matter of unlocking it. And what levers can you pull? Are you going to rely on owners? Are you going to rely on the stores? Are you going to rely on events? you know it's not just a game of pure price anymore, because I've run into people who've paid almost like 65, 70,000 for Ionic 5, which actually has less room than a Model 3. And that's kind of bananas to me. And for some reason, these people either didn't get a Tesla because they just didn't go to a store, or they just didn't think about it, because it's like, oh, where's the dealership, how do I buy it, etc. Butts in seats sells cars. And what's even crazier is when you move to the Model S. um I cannot stress how profoundly uh um like how profound it is that this car, even though the body is about 10 years old, it's changed so much. I had a 2014 P85, and I had a 21 Model S Plaid, and it's so comfortable. It performs wonderfully. It drives wonderfully. Um, I actually prefer driving it over the Lucid Air, and I think the back seat's better in the Model S than the Mercedes-Benz EQS sedan. Um, and it's strange because it's effectively a 10-year-old car. It's effectively a 10-year-old car, but they nailed it, and it has a storage capacity of an of some SUVs because of the hatchback. So the addressable market for the Model S, a lot of industry journalists and a lot of Wall Street, they pigeonholed it and they compartmentalized it with large luxury sedans, when it really covers the gamut. And lastly, Model X. What I've been trying to figure out about Model X is, personally, I do have one. I'm kind of like, it's not quite a large SUV, but it's also not really an SUV. But it's also not like a wagon, and it's also not like a minivan. When you go back into when this was released, the benchmark vehicles for this were Honda Odyssey, Audi Q7, and a base Porsche 911. So 911 for performance, Q7 for, I guess, the like off-roadness, or like SUV capability, and then the minivan for the versatility, the Odyssey for the versatility. And what's so strange about a Model X, and I've been trying to put my finger on it, is it has the aspects of all those vehicles, but it has a driving experience like no other vehicle on the road. Um, it's something that's like really quite special, and you really can't categorize the X um, in the traditional auto classes, and you can't even really compare it to like a Rivian R1S. You just can't. It's so different. And I'm gonna do a review later on that, but um, it really comes down to the the entire driving experience of the Model X. And going forward, Tesla really does. There are no demand issues. There really just aren't. And let's say, heaven forbid, Tesla's like, okay, we're gonna stop making cars. We're just gonna stop making cars. We're just gonna make batteries. We're gonna make energy storage and all that stuff. Great, we need it. So I think, for those that are either fearful or weary or trying to grasp things, I think it's really, a lot of things are overblown. And even in situations where there's like a price rumor of a price drop in China for Tesla. Um, I even think that's overblown, because China's like such a huge export hub. So it's a matter of, where are you going to channel the supply? So, in short, those are my thoughts so far on the demand aspect of Q3 earnings. I have a lot more, but I just wanted to just get it out there, because it's getting old, guys. The demand concerns are getting quite old, and it's like we hopped back into a time machine, and it's just not applicable when you look at the numbers and when you look at the product, and if you understand the product, it's really not applicable. They could sell every single car that they want. So, well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll have a lot more content. Just been busy, but I'll catch you on the next one.